The soft hum of the cargo ship's engines filled the small cockpit as Jack Thompson stared out into the vast emptiness of space. His coffee had gone cold hours ago, but he barely noticed. After 5 years of running cargo through the outer sectors, the loneliness of deep space had become his closest companion. "Warning, entering Sector 47B," announced Mary, his ship's eye. "Space Command advises caution due to recent pirate activity in this region." Jack stretched in his pilot's chair and yawned. "Thanks, Mary. Same warning as always. At least pirates would make this run more interesting." As if the universe had heard his casual wish, a light started blinking on his control panel. The emergency channel crackled to life, filling the cockpit with strange, musical tones mixed with standard emergency codes. "Mary, what am I looking at here?" Jack leaned forward, suddenly alert. "Analyzing signal pattern," Mary responded. "Signal confirmed as a luminary distress beacon. Point of origin is approximately 300,000 kilometers off our current course." Jack's eyes widened. The luminary were rare in this part of space, advanced, mysterious, and known for their glowing skin. They usually stuck to their own territories. Something serious must have happened to bring one of their ships out here. "Show me the nearest Space Command vessel," Jack commanded. A holographic map appeared before him, showing the closest patrol ship was nearly 6 hours away. The distress signal's urgency indicators suggested whoever sent it might not have that long. "Jack, Space Command protocols strictly advise against civilian intervention in potential crisis situations," Mary reminded him. "Particularly given the recent pirate warnings. Recommended course of action is to relay the distress signal and continue on our scheduled route." Jack ran his fingers through his messy brown hair, a habit he'd developed whenever facing a tough decision. The cargo in his hold was just machine parts, nothing that couldn't be delivered a few hours late. But Mary was right about the pirates. If this was a trap, his small cargo ship wouldn't stand a chance against well-armed raiders. The distress signal pulsed again, somehow sounding even more desperate than before. "Mary, what do we know about luminary distress signals?" Jack asked, already plotting a course adjustment in his head. "Luminary emergency protocols are highly advanced. False distress signals are extremely rare due to their cultural emphasis on honesty. However, if pirates have captured luminary technology, they'd be using it to lure in targets," Jack finished. He drummed his fingers on the control panel, weighing his options. "But if it's real, someone out there needs help." The next few minutes passed in tense silence as Jack wrestled with his conscience. His father's voice echoed in his memory. "Son, the right choice and the easy choice are rarely the same thing. Plot an intercept course," Jack finally ordered. "But keep our shields at maximum and weapon systems on standby. If this is a trap, I want us ready." "Course plotted. Adjusting heading now," Mary responded. "I feel compelled to note that this decision goes against both Space Command recommendations and basic self-preservation instincts." Jack smiled as his ship began its turn. "Noted. Sometimes we have to trust our gut, Mary, even if you don't have one. Human idioms aside, I hope your intestines are making the right decision." As his ship accelerated toward the distress signal, Jack ran through his emergency procedures. He checked his weapon, a standard-issue plasma pistol, and made sure his emergency medical kit was fully stocked. Years of cargo runs had taught him to be prepared for anything. The signal grew stronger as they approached, and Jack's sensors began picking up debris. Something bad had definitely happened out here. His hands tightened on the controls as the ship's lights caught something floating in the darkness. Pieces of what looked like a ship's hull, still glowing faintly with characteristic luminary energy signatures. "Mary, start scanning for life signs," Jack ordered, his voice tight. "Something tells me this isn't a trap. It's something much worse." As his ship pushed deeper into the field of debris, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that he was about to get involved in something much bigger than a simple rescue mission. He just hoped he'd live long enough to find out what it was. The wreckage of the luminary ship floated like broken glass in space, Through his view screen, Jack could see pulses of soft blue light coming from what remained of the ship's main cabin. The light was getting weaker by the minute. "Life signs detected," Mary announced. "One luminary biosignature. Vital signs are weak but stable. Warning, 3 unidentified vessels approaching from the far side of the wreckage." Jack's hands moved quickly across his control panel. "Pirates. They're coming back to finish the job. Mary, can we get a shuttle to the Survivor?" Calculating. "Yes, but you'll have approximately 4 minutes before those ships are in firing range." The cargo pilot took a deep breath. "Then we better work fast. Prep the emergency shuttle. And Mary, if I'm not back in 3 minutes, get out of here. That order conflicts with my primary directives to ensure crew safety. Override code Thompson Alpha 7. Just trust me on this one." Jack rushed to the shuttle bay, strapping on his emergency spacesuit as he ran. His heart was pounding, but his hands were steady. The small rescue shuttle hummed to life as he jumped in. The space between his cargo ship and the wreckage seemed to stretch forever. As Jack guided the shuttle closer, he could see the damage better. This hadn't been an accident. The luminary ship's hull showed clear signs of weapon fire. He found an emergency airlock that was still intact and docked his shuttle. The moment the seals were secure, he grabbed his medical kit and plasma pistol, then pushed through into the wreckage. The inside of the luminary ship was unlike anything he'd seen before. The walls seemed alive, covered in delicate patterns that still glowed faintly. But there was no time to admire the alien architecture. Following his suit's biosensor, he made his way toward the life sign. He found her in what looked like a research lab. A luminary woman lay trapped under a fallen piece of equipment, her naturally glowing skin flickering like a dying light bulb. Her eyes, large and silver, opened as he approached. Don't come closer," she warned in perfect English, her voice weak but determined. "The pirates, they'll be back." "I know," Jack said, already working to lift the equipment off her. "That's why we need to hurry. I'm Jack Thompson. I'm here to help." She stared at him for a moment, surprise clear on her face. "You're human, but humans don't venture this far out. This human does. Can you move?" The luminary woman tried to stand but fell back with a pained gasp. Her glow dimmed even further. "My leg. I think it's broken." "Mary," Jack called through his comm. 2 minutes until those ships are in range." "Understood. The shuttle is ready for immediate departure." Jack didn't waste any more time talking. He carefully lifted the luminary woman into his arms, trying not to jostle her injured leg. She was surprisingly light, and her skin gave off a gentle warmth that he could feel even through his suit. "I'm Iris," she whispered as he carried her through the corridors. "My research, my samples." "No time," Jack said firmly, "unless those samples are worth dying for." A distant explosion rocked the ship. The pirates were getting closer. They reached the shuttle just as Mary's voice came through again. 1 minute until hostile ships are in range." Jack secured Iris in the shuttle's passenger seat as quickly and carefully as he could. Her glow had steadied slightly, which he hoped was a good sign. As he jumped into the pilot's seat, another explosion lit up space behind them. "Hold on," he warned, firing up the shuttle's engines. "This might get rough." The small shuttle shot away from the wreckage just as the first pirate ship came into view. Jack's cargo ship was already moving to intercept them, giving the shuttle cover to make its escape. "Mary, as soon as we're aboard, I want full power to the engines," Jack ordered, pushing the shuttle to its limits. "We're going to have company, and they won't be friendly." Iris watched him with those silver eyes, her glow pulsing slightly stronger. "You risked your life for a stranger." Jack managed a quick smile as he dodged a piece of debris. "That's kind of what humans do. Now let's get you somewhere safe, and then you can tell me what kind of research was worth getting shot at for." As they raced toward the cargo ship's open shuttle bay, with pirate vessels closing in behind them, Jack couldn't help thinking that this rescue mission was just the beginning of something much more complicated. The cargo ship's medical bay wasn't fancy, but it was better than nothing. Iris lay on the examination table, her silvery skin casting a soft glow across the room. Jack had managed to set her broken leg using the ship's medical scanner and some basic first aid knowledge. "Mary, how far are we from the nearest neutral station?" Jack asked while checking Iris's vital signs on the monitor. "Station 42 is approximately 18 hours away at our current speed," the AI responded. "However, there is a problem. Long-range scanners show unusual solar activity ahead. A major storm is forming." Iris tried to sit up but winced in pain. Solar storms in this sector can be extremely dangerous. Perhaps we should find another route. "The next closest station is 3 days away," Jack explained, gently helping her lie back down. "And your leg needs proper medical attention sooner than that. We'll have to risk the storm." The luminary researcher studied him with those striking silver eyes. "You've already risked enough for me. I can't ask you to do more." "You didn't ask. I'm offering." Jack checked the ship's medical supplies. "Besides, I've handled solar storms before, though usually not with such interesting company." Iris's glow brightened slightly, which Jack was beginning to recognize as her equivalent of a blush. "We luminary don't often interact with humans. Our council teaches that your species is—" She paused, seemingly embarrassed. "Let me guess, primitive, reckless, unpredictable." Jack smiled as he prepared a pain-relieving injection. "All of those things," Iris admitted, "but they never mentioned how kind you could be." She watched as he administered the medicine, "or how well you understand alien physiology. 5 years in deep space teaches you a lot. This might sting a bit." Jack carefully gave her the injection. "So, want to tell me what you were researching out there? Must have been important." Before Iris could answer, the ship shuddered violently. Warning lights flashed across the medical bay. "Jack," Mary's voice was urgent. "The solar storm is intensifying more rapidly than predicted. We have approximately 10 minutes before the worst of it hits us. Can we outrun it?" "Negative. The storm's reach extends beyond our fuel capacity." Iris's glow pulsed with concern. "My people have developed shielding technology for such storms. I could help modify your ship shields, but—" She gestured to her injured leg. "Talk me through it," Jack said immediately. "Mary can handle the technical implementation while I do the physical work." The next few minutes were a blur of activity. Jack ran between the engine room and the shield generators, following Iris's precise instructions. Her knowledge of energy fields, combined with Mary's processing power and Jack's practical experience, might just be enough to save them. "Shield modification at 80%, Mary announced. "Storm approaching in 2 minutes." Iris's voice was steady despite her pain. "The frequency needs to be exactly right, or the shields will collapse. Jack, you'll need to manually adjust the primary resonator." Jack climbed into the maintenance shaft, following her directions. "Like this. A little more. There. Lock it in place now." The ship rumbled as the first wave of the storm hit them. The lights flickered, and Jack could hear the shield generator straining. "Shield modification complete," Mary reported. "Storm impact in 3, 2, 1. The cargo ship shook like it was about to tear apart. Through the small window in the medical bay, the space around them had turned into a swirling chaos of solar energy. Jack held onto the edge of Iris's bed, helping her stay steady as the ship rocked. To his amazement, her glow began to pulse in sync with the shield's energy field. Each wave of the storm was met with a corresponding pulse from her bioluminescent skin. "That's incredible," Jack whispered, watching the display. "It's a natural response," Iris explained, her voice tense with concentration. "My people evolved to resonate with energy fields. Right now, I'm helping stabilize your shields, but it's draining." Jack noticed her light dimming. "Mary, how long until we clear the storm?" "Approximately 47 minutes at current speed." He took Iris's hand without thinking. Hey, stay with me. We made it through pirates. We're not letting a little solar storm stop us. Her fingers tightened around his, and her glow steadied. As they rode out the storm together, Jack realized that somewhere between the rescue and now, this mission had become about more than just helping a stranger. He just wasn't sure what that meant yet. Station 42 looked like a giant metal snowflake spinning slowly in space. After the chaos of the solar storm, its steady lights were a welcome sight. Jack's cargo ship docked smoothly in one of the medical bays, where a team of doctors waited to treat Iris. The fracture is healing well, the station's chief medical officer said, examining Iris's leg with a scanner. Your emergency treatment was surprisingly good for a cargo pilot, Mr. Thompson. Jack shrugged, standing nearby. Lucky guess. Luck had nothing to do with it, Iris said. Her glow had returned to full strength after resting. You saved my life twice now. First from the pirates, then during the storm. The doctor finished his examination and gave Iris some medication. You'll need to stay here for at least 2 days while the bone finishes healing. Standard procedure for luminary physiology. After the doctor left, Jack started to say goodbye. Well, once you're cleared, the station can arrange transport back to your people. I should get back to my delivery route. Wait. Iris called out, her glow pulsing brightly. In my culture, we have a tradition. When someone saves another's life, there must be a proper Thanksgiving ceremony. That's really not necessary. It is, she insisted. Please, it would dishonor both of us if we didn't follow the custom. And, her glow dimmed slightly, I would like to thank you properly. Jack looked at his cargo manifest, then at Iris. The machine parts could wait another couple of days. All right. What does this ceremony involve? Over the next 2 days, Jack learned more about luminary culture than he ever expected. Iris taught him about their traditions while she recovered, her silver eyes lighting up whenever he asked questions. Our Thanksgiving ceremony has 3 parts, she explained, sitting in the station's garden area. The artificial plants glowed softly, reminding Jack of her skin. First, the sharing of stories. Then, the exchange of truths. Finally, the binding of light. Binding of light? Jack asked, helping her walk through the garden. Her leg was almost healed, but she still needed support. It's when we share our bioluminescence with the one who saved us. It's very special to my people. Her glow flickered nervously. No luminary has ever shared light with a human before. Jack watched as her glow synchronized with her heartbeat. Your people really take gratitude seriously. We believe that when someone saves your life, they become part of your story forever. Iris stopped walking and turned to face him. Jack, there's something else you should know. During the storm, when you held my hand, did you notice anything unusual? You mean besides your glow matching the shield frequency? Our bioluminescence only synchronizes with others in very specific circumstances. She seemed to be choosing her words carefully. It's considered a sign of deep connection. Jack remembered how her light had steadied when he took her hand. What kind of connection? Before she could answer, a group of luminary officials entered the garden. Their formal robes sparkled with embedded crystals, and their skin glowed with a cold blue light. Researcher Iris, the tallest one, spoke. We received your report about the pirate attack. The Council is most disturbed by these events. Iris straightened up, her professional demeanor returning. Counselor Reed, I wasn't expecting the Council to send representatives so quickly. When we learned a human had rescued you, Reed glanced at Jack with an unreadable expression. Well, this is unprecedented. And now we hear you wish to perform the Thanksgiving ceremony. Yes, Iris said firmly. He saved my life. It is our way. The counselors exchanged glances, their lights pulsing in patterns Jack couldn't understand. Finally, Reed spoke again. The ceremony must be witnessed by the council. It will be held tomorrow at Station Dawn. He turned to Jack. Mr. Thompson, do you understand the significance of what you're agreeing to? Jack looked at Iris, saw the hope in her silver eyes. Honestly, Not entirely. But where I come from, when someone wants to say thank you, it's polite to let them. Reed's glow flickered with what might have been amusement. Indeed. Tomorrow, then. And Mr. Thompson, prepare yourself. Luminary gratitude is not a small thing. As the counselors left, Jack turned to Iris. Why do I feel like I just agreed to something bigger than a thank you? Iris's glow pulsed warmly. Because, Jack Thompson, you did. Much bigger. The station's ceremonial chamber glowed with soft lights that reminded Jack of Earth's sunrise. He stood in the center, wearing the formal white robe the luminary had given him. Around him, council members and station officials watched from tiered seats, their own lights creating patterns on the walls. The Thanksgiving ceremony will now begin, Counselor Reed announced. His voice echoed in the circular room. Researcher Iris will lead us in the ancient rites. Iris entered the chamber wearing a silvery robe that seemed to dance with her natural glow. Her leg was fully healed now, and she moved with graceful steps toward Jack. The whole room fell silent. First, the sharing of stories. She began, her voice clear and strong. Jack Thompson of Earth, you found me when my ship was attacked. You fought pirates to save me. You risked your life in a solar storm to protect me. These are the stories of my rescue. Jack nodded, remembering those intense moments. I just did what anyone would do. No, Iris said softly. You did what only you would do. Now, the exchange of truths. She took a deep breath, her glow pulsing faster. My truth is this. When you held my hand during the storm, our energies synchronized. This has never happened between a human and a luminary before. Murmurs spread through the watching crowd. Jack noticed several council members leaning forward with intense interest. Your truth, Jack Thompson? Iris prompted. Jack thought carefully. My truth is, when I heard your distress signal, something told me I had to help. Not because of duty or rules, but because it felt right. Like I was meant to find you. Iris's glow brightened dramatically at his words. The watching luminary's lights pulsed in response, filling the room with waves of color. And now, Iris continued, the binding of light. She held out her hands, palms up. This is the most sacred part of our ceremony. It is also a beginning. Jack placed his hands in hers, remembering how they had helped each other through the storm. Immediately, her glow began to spread, tiny points of light dancing across his skin like stars. By our most ancient laws, Iris spoke, her voice trembling slightly. When two beings share such a connection, they are considered bound by fate. She looked up at him, silver eyes shining. Jack Thompson, my rescue was not just a chance meeting. Our energy patterns are compatible in a way that happens only once in many lifetimes. The lights in the room dimmed, leaving only Iris's glow illuminating them both. Jack felt a warmth spreading from their joined hands, unlike anything he'd ever experienced. What exactly are you saying? He asked, though something in his heart already knew the answer. In the traditions of my people, when life-saving leads to energy synchronization, it can mean only one thing. Iris's glow pulsed with each word. I am asking you to join your life with mine. In human terms, I am proposing marriage. The chamber erupted in flashing lights as the luminary council members reacted to her words. Jack stood frozen, the warmth of her light still flowing through him. Marriage, he managed to say. But we barely know each other. Our energies know each other, Iris said simply. My people believe that such connections are the universe's way of bringing destined pairs together. We could take time to know each other better, but the bond is already there. I feel it, and I think you do too. Jack looked around the chamber at the watching faces, some curious, some concerned, some clearly disapproving. Then he looked back at Iris, saw the hope and fear mingled in her expression. The same warmth he'd felt during the rescue, during the storm, was there between them now. This is a lot to take in, he said carefully. I understand if you need time to. But, Jack continued, surprising himself. Something about it feels right. Like that feeling that made me answer your distress call. Iris's glow brightened until she was almost too brilliant to look at. Then you accept. Before Jack could answer, Counselor Reed stepped forward. Wait. There are complications to consider. No human has ever joined with a luminary. The political implications alone. The warmth between Jack's and Iris's hands pulsed stronger, as if in defiance of the counselor's words. Jack realized he was about to make another decision that would change everything. Just like when he'd first heard that distress signal in deep space. The meeting room on Station 42 felt too small for the argument taking place inside it. 3 days had passed since Iris's proposal, and now representatives from both Earth and the Luminary Council were facing off across a large table. This is completely unprecedented, the Earth ambassador said, pacing back and forth. A human-luminary marriage could change everything between our species. Jack sat quietly beside Iris, watching the debate unfold. Her hand rested near his on the table, her glow pulsing gently in time with his heartbeat. The sight still amazed him. Counselor Reed stood at the head of the table, his own light flickering with frustration. Our laws are clear. When energy patterns synchronize during a life-saving event, the connection must be honored. But he turned to Jack and Iris. This situation creates many problems. What kind of problems? Jack asked, finally speaking up. The past few days had been a whirlwind of meetings and discussions, but no one had given them straight answers. A younger council member named Light stepped forward, her glow sharp and bright. For one, we don't know if a human can survive the complete light-binding ceremony. No non-luminary has ever attempted it. I would never hurt Jack, Iris protested, her glow flaring defensively. Not intentionally, Light countered. But your energies could overwhelm his human physiology. The Earth ambassador stopped pacing. And what about children? Living arrangements? Citizenship? There are 1,000 questions we need to answer. Jack felt Iris tense beside him. He knew she hadn't expected such opposition to what her people usually considered a joyous occasion. Without thinking, he took her hand. Immediately, her glow steadied, and he felt that now familiar warmth spread through him. The room fell silent as everyone watched their connected hands pulse with synchronized light. Remarkable. An elderly luminary scientist murmured, scanning them with some kind of device. Their energy patterns are perfectly matched. In all my years of studying human luminary interactions, I've never seen anything like it. That's exactly why this matter requires careful consideration, Counselor Reed said. If their connection is truly unique, we must understand it before proceeding. And what about the political implications? Another Earth representative added. Some humans already fear closer ties with alien species. This could cause panic. Or, Jack said, standing up, it could show everyone that we're not so different after all. The room turned to look at him. Even Iris seemed surprised by his sudden confidence. Look, he continued, I'm just a cargo pilot. I don't understand politics or energy patterns or any of that. But I know that when I heard Iris's distress signal, I chose to help. Not because of rules or treaties, but because it was right. Maybe that's what this is about. Choosing to do what's right, even if it's never been done before. Iris stood beside him, her glow brightening with every word. Jack is correct. Our connection may be unprecedented, but that doesn't make it wrong. My people believe the universe brings souls together for a reason. The Earth ambassador frowned. This isn't about belief. This is about practical concerns. With all respect. Iris interrupted. Practical concerns didn't save me from pirates. They didn't guide us through a solar storm. Jack did those things because he followed his heart, something my people once thought humans couldn't do. And now? Counselor Reed asked quietly. Now I know better, Iris replied. I've seen humanity's true nature through Jack's actions. Perhaps it's time both our peoples did the same. The room erupted in discussion again, but this time the tone was different. Jack noticed some of the younger council members nodding in agreement. Even the Earth representatives seemed to be considering their words. Perhaps, Councillor Reed finally said, raising his hands for silence, we have been too focused on the problems and not enough on the possibilities. But there must be conditions, safeguards, studies. We'll accept reasonable conditions, Jack said, squeezing Iris's hand. But we won't give up on this connection. The elderly scientist stepped forward eagerly. I would be honored to oversee the medical studies. We could learn so much about human luminary compatibility. As the officials began discussing details, Jack turned to Iris. You okay with being the scientific breakthrough? Her glow pulsed with amusement. As long as we're a breakthrough together. 1 month after the heated diplomatic meetings, Station 42's largest chamber had been transformed. Luminary crystals hung from the ceiling, their light mixing with traditional Earth decorations. It was the first human luminary wedding in history, and everyone wanted to be there. Jack stood at the front of the chamber, wearing a formal Earth suit modified with light-responsive threads that glowed softly. His old cargo ship, freshly painted and upgraded, was visible through the station's massive window behind him. In the crowd, he spotted his former military commander sitting next to a group of luminary scientists, all of them eagerly waiting. Nervous? Asked Mary through his earpiece. His ship's AI had refused to miss the ceremony. A little, Jack whispered. Did you ever think answering that distress signal would lead to this? My calculations suggested a 0.001% chance of you getting married to the person you rescued. But then again, you never did follow the odds. The chamber's lights dimmed, and a soft melody began to play. A mix of Earth music and the musical tones of luminary language. The crowd turned as Iris entered. She wore a traditional luminary ceremonial robe that seemed to float around her, but she had added an Earth-style veil. Her natural glow was brighter than ever, creating patterns that danced across the walls. As she walked toward Jack, her light reached out to him, and he felt the familiar warmth spread through his body. The elderly luminary scientist who had studied their connection stood up to perform the ceremony. Over the past month, he announced, we have extensively studied the unique bond between Jack Thompson and Iris. What we discovered has changed our understanding of both species. He gestured to his data screens, which showed matching energy patterns. Humans, it seems, have their own kind of inner light. We just never knew how to look for it before. And when that light matches a luminary's glow, he smiled. Well, we're seeing the result today. Jack and Iris stood face to face as the scientist continued. We will now combine both our people's marriage traditions. First, the Earth custom of vows. Jack took Iris's hands in his. The words he prepared suddenly seemed too simple, but he spoke from his heart. Iris, when I heard your distress signal, I chose to help a stranger. Now I'm choosing to spend my life with my best friend. Whatever challenges come, we'll face them together. Iris's glow pulsed with joy as she spoke. Jack, you taught me that sometimes the best traditions are the new ones we make. You showed me that different doesn't mean wrong. I choose you as my partner in all things. And now, the scientist said, the luminary binding of light. This was the moment everyone had been worried about. No human had ever undergone the complete ceremony. The medical team stood ready, just in case. Iris's glow expanded, surrounding them both in a sphere of soft light. Jack felt the warmth grow stronger, but instead of overwhelming him, it felt natural, like coming home. Their joined hands began to pulse with shared light, human and luminary energy mixing together. The watching crowd gasped as the light spread, creating beautiful patterns no one had seen before. Even the scientist looked amazed. Impossible, he whispered, checking his instruments. Their energy patterns have completely synchronized. They're in perfect harmony. When the light finally faded, Jack and Iris stood together, both of them glowing faintly. The Earth officials looked stunned. The luminary council members were pulsing with excitement. Well, the scientist said, regaining his composure. By the powers of both Earth and the Luminary Council, I now pronounce you joined in marriage. The chamber erupted in cheers. Humans and Luminary celebrated together, their differences forgotten in the joy of the moment. Later, as they prepared to board their ship for their honeymoon voyage, Jack turned to Iris. "So, where should we go first?" She smiled, her glow synchronizing with his heartbeat. "There's a whole universe out there, full of distress signals waiting to be answered. Why don't we help a few more people? Together this time." "I like that plan," Jack said, starting the ship's engines. "Mary, plot a course for adventure." Course plotted. The AI responded cheerfully. "And may I say, you both look quite illuminating together." As their ship lifted off from Station 42, its hull now decorated with both human and luminary symbols, Jack and Iris knew they were starting more than just a marriage. They were beginning a new chapter in the history of both their peoples, proving that love truly could light up the darkness of space. The end.